All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob at Smirking and Reviews, and we are starting Season 2 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tonight. It is Episode 1. It is called Shadows. So full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. I want to thank everybody that's joining us for the reviews for the second season, especially all of you that were watching the Season 1 episodes. We're gonna plow through all this and hopefully be done in time before the sixth season starts. So if this is your first episode, welcome. Otherwise, let's just jump into this because there's so much there's so much here. And again, I am so glad that I'm rewatching this. This is the first time that I've seen season 2 over again since it first aired. In fact, 2, 3, 4, and I think maybe I saw a couple of episodes of 4 more than once. But this is the first time going through. I've seen season 1 a couple of times, three times. But this is the first time for season 2, and there was so much that I forgot, and I love it. But let's just start with the beginning. So they bring it. They really bring it in this episode. Like, holy crap. We get started with Hydra. Red Skull's dead, but they're still fighting on, and they find this thing called the Obelisk that supposedly has the keys to death itself. And this guy Whitehall, who better have this here because there's so many people to talk about in this episode. Whitehall played. Been in everything. God, he's a Reed Diamond. Yeah, he's been on everything from Dollhouse to the Shield. He runs the gamut. And so the whole place though gets raided by Haley Atwell, Sharon Carter, and Neil McDonough, and where's the other one? They put him down further. Now I'm like, it's like dead air. I don't like it when I can't find that stuff. Kenneth Choi, Jesus Christ. So yeah, Neil McDonough and Kenneth Choi are back as their Howling Commando counterparts. Dum Dum Dugan and Jim Morita. That's his name. The other guy gets a really cool name. Kenneth Choi, he's been in a ton of stuff like Wolf of Wall Street and Last Man on Earth. And Neil McDonough, I mean, he's Damien Dark, okay? From the CW DC universe. Well, he's also famous for being in Captain America, but and he's been in so much. I remember I used to find it when I'd see him in something, because it was kind of rare when he first came out. I'd be really excited, and now Neil McDonough is everywhere. I remember first seeing him in Band of Brothers and just being like, I loved his character in that. But they're in this scene with Haley Atwell, which, just to let you know, when her episodes start, her first season started at the mid-season of this season. So I'm going to be doing Agent Carter as well as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Back to back, just to cover both shows and get them out of the way, because they're running concurrently later on. So that's just something to keep a heads up for. But they raid the place. It's supposed to be one of Hydra's last places. The last place. And so now the war is over, and they get the mention of SSR. They get the mention, and this is before S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D. before S.H.I.E.L.D. And then you get that quick little glimpse of a Kree body in a crate. Which is that the one that they used for Project Tahiti? Probably. I don't know. But they're burying it, putting it away, and that's foreshadowing. And it's that is one expensive piece of foreshadowing, getting all those three actors together to do that little set. And maybe it seems I don't know. It seemed like it was jumping right out of the Captain America movie. And I know the scene probably wasn't that difficult to shoot or anything, but it did feel really cinematic, and it did really feel like it was connecting to the MCU. But then when we come back to the present time, it's all starting with that thing. And now what I really like is that we're starting a new thing. It's not just, there's going to be elements from last season that, like Reyna and things like that, that start to seep in and take over season 2 as we go on. But I like that it's not a reintroduction, it's a here's where we are all now, and what our world looks like. We're rebuilding the world in this sense, like of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like getting us reintroduced to how things are going to work now that season 1 is over, and the ramifications of Winter Soldier and the ramifications of Garrett and all this stuff. And they're not just throwing us a million storylines to follow and different plot points and everything. It's just a slight continuation of last season and a whole bunch of new stuff that will eventually start to form a more, the bigger picture here. And I really appreciate that. And we get to see how everybody's growing and stuff. Like Skye's definitely been training. We get introduced to Mac. We get introduced to Hunter. Hunter's played by Nick Blood, and Mac is played by Henry Simmons. I'm gonna say this now. I like Mac. I do. I have my problems with Mac as a character, the way they write him, occasionally though. So if Mac is your favorite character, just be nice to me, because I'm just being honest. And sometimes his character really, sometimes. But I really like Hunter. We're also introduced briefly to Lucy Lawless. She's in this, of course, from Xena, Warrior Princess, and Ash vs. Evil Dead, and the X-Files, and what else, Spartacus, and all that stuff. So it's kind of a cool little guest star role for her. I mean, she doesn't have to do stuff like this. She doesn't have to do anything, but she's Isabel Izzy Hartley. I don't know if she's a comic character or not, but she's running these mercenaries that are with Mac and Hunter and this other guy. Poor guy. He becomes nothing. He's just other guy. Oh, Wilmer Calderon. He plays Idaho. Yeah. I forget that Idaho's a state a lot of times, so I'm not going to remember a character named Idaho probably for very long. But they're kind of teamed up a little bit with Coulson, because they both end up on the same mission, and they kind of screw it up for Izzy's squad, because they've been like kind of undercover and all that. Because Creel, in that scene, they're trying to sell this thing. This guy is trying to sell information to them. That guy is played by the guy who was Drew Barrymore's boyfriend, fiance in The Wedding Singer. And I'll never be able to see him as anything but that. He's always going to be that guy, that asshole boyfriend from The Wedding Singer, and the prosecutor from the series finale of The X-Files. And thankfully, in both cases, I wanted to see him die, and he does, because an actual Marvel villain shows up here. It's Carl Creel, the Absorbing Man, which is a pretty cool thing to do, because if you think about it, the special effects don't have to be too over the top, even though he's got a crazy power, which is everything he touches is what he can basically make him, his density, and like if it's metal, it's metal, it's wood, that kind of thing. So he's pretty much make himself impervious to anything just by what's around him. So I guess what you'd want around him is like cotton balls. Like put him in a cell made of cotton balls. I guess. I don't know. But he comes and makes things like crazy for everybody, and this is where we're introduced that Coulson in charge at the playground, and when everybody needs to get out, Coulson says, let's go dark. It's kind of a stark difference between this mission and what happens later on. And we get to see everybody starting to interact with each other. We get to see that Fitz is having a hard time because of what happened to him from Ward dumping him into the ocean and having the pressure hit him. He can't think, and no matter what Simmons says, it can't really help. He's kind of lashing out at her. He doesn't mean to. He's just really frustrated. And I would be too if I suddenly just stopped knowing things. That would really fucking suck if I just went to work and just stopped knowing how to do my job and trying to feel useful and being useless. Except in my job, they just fired me. Fitz's job, they'd probably still find something for him to do, or at least they'd give him a really good retirement plan. Oh, well, I don't know. S.H.I.E.L.D's not around anymore, so he probably wouldn't get anything. But he probably could go working for Tony Stark or something like that. But Anyway, so the mission now is to find Carl Creel. But first they've also got this other thing they need to do, which is get transportation because they can't go anywhere. Coulson's always having to fly coach everywhere they need to go to find, people that'll be loyal to them or help them out when they need it. And so until they can figure out what to do, about their cloaking technology they're looking for, they can't really go anywhere because Talbot's making their lives miserable. Played brilliantly again. This episode with Talbot is really great because when they go to help him out, cool scene by the way, when he takes that's a classic kind of image, Carl Creel with like a big old ball and chain. I think that's kind of what he was known for in the comics, is having something like that in his hand. So we did get that comic book kind of moment, and then May kicks his ass a little bit and they arrest him and they help they get Talbot away. His people take Creel and S.H.I.E.L.D. takes Talbot. And Talbot's interrogation is really funny. Him and Clark Gregg and Pazdar's banter really back and forth is really fun. And they get to do a lot of that throughout the rest of the series. And I really appreciate their kind of, I hate you, but I like you. See, I respect you, but I hate you. But sometimes I don't hate you. I like you, but then they betray each other so quick. It's not even funny. It's just each side is always like getting one up on each other. We don't really get to know too much about the new characters, just that Hunter's kind of a smart ass, and that Mac is just kind of trip two. He really is. And it stays like that until what happens later happens, but and I don't know how far in advance they knew what they were going to do there, if they already wanted to have somebody to just be able to jump in and take trips. Oh. Stop talking. So we also get our Hannibal Lecter Clarice Starling moment here when Skye goes to talk to Ward to get information from him, knowing that after all this time he'll finally talk to her, and only her, and of course only her, and even Skye even mentions that, of course it's just me. And he does his usual rigmarole until she finally gets sick of it. That's what I'm gonna say. Can you even believe, even though I want to believe that he's telling the truth, that he just wants to help, right? I know that in the end, maybe he is in this episode trying to help, but I know that won't last, but I still can't believe it. Just like she is, I can't believe anything you say. And, a lot of times I'll say, well, they're going to make it seem like he's not, that he's bad, but he's not really. And it's no, in this case, he always is. And it's I've never had a more of a sure feeling about not trusting a character lately than Grant Ward. While I'm rewatching this, everything out of his mouth is just going to be a lie. And I can't say that about a lot of people that I see in TVs or movies, that I just know they're always fucking lying. Or, when he says he's not going to lie to Skye anymore, but whatever. What else do we have here? Well, then they go after the Quinjet. They fight their way in through there. They're looking for the obelisk at the same time. Unfortunately, Izzy touches it, and it starts to freaking melt her arm off. Well, not melt it off, but turn her into rock like it did the people back in World War II time. Creel comes to try to kill her. They make him run away, but I do like how he escaped with the plastic and everything, even though you knew that was what was going to happen, because, they were trying to tell Talbot's people that they don't know what they're doing. But then, they send her off, and that's when Creel strikes right here, which is a pretty cool practical effect that they did. It's messed up because she has, Hunter cut off her arm, and just as she's getting it all tourniqueted up, and you think, oh, everything is going to be okay, because they just had that scene, I don't want to die, and everything's going to be all right, and then boom, there he is in the middle of the road, flips the fucking truck, sends it flying, and kills both Idaho and Izzy, leaving Hunter to pretend to be dead while Creel takes the obelisk. There are some really more cool moments with Creel too, like when he's up against the wall when May walks past and everything. I don't know. It's a pretty solid episode. But what's funny is that in the end, like when they ask Coulson, "Are we aborting?" This time he's like, "No, keep going. We have to do this. If we don't do this, we lose. We're done." And so he is willing to push, the limits of things, even though they are, a couple of them, and they do when they leave with Izzy, they value her more over their mission, proving right now that they're more mercs than any part of a team. But they do manage to get the Quinjet, and that's a pretty big deal because it sucks not having the bus. But, I think, yeah, they have the bus, but they can't fly it. I think that's the deal here. So that's it. It's a pretty good beginning. We find out that Whitehall's still around. We know that they're looking into the markings that Garrett was working on. So again, they don't know that apparently that Coulson's been working on this stuff. And the biggest shocker that I forgot about was Fitz is talking to himself. And when they revealed that, I was like, oh, I felt so stupid that I forgot about that. But it's such a great element because they just sell it. They sell it really well. And that's really, really sad. And then when I realized that she's not there and that he's gotten worse, I do remember vaguely what she's doing and when we'll see her and what that'll mean to the rest of the story, plus who she will meet while she's where she's at. So I'm looking forward to more of this. Great beginning. Again, like I said, I can't wait to do more, but I'm probably not going to do any more tonight because we got Deadly Class in about a half an hour. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment. Let me know what you guys think so far of these reviews. What do you guys think of the premiere? What do you guys think of the way that they started out this season, that kind of thing. Otherwise, yeah, share, subscribe, all that jazz if you're new to the channel. And you want to see more content, there's tons of stuff on here. If it's comic booky, superhero-y, or whatever, the chances are there's something on the channel you like. So this is Robert Smirking on Review saying we'll be back with Deadly Class later. More Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 tomorrow. And then we got Captain America Civil War still coming. And then C2E2 this weekend. So we're busy here at Smirking on Review. So have a great night. And we will see you in the next video.